Good evening. Welcome to the following up from, in fact, yesterday. And good to see so many of you this short notice. So really beautiful to take this further sessions because it kind of rounds off this this whole map, bigger picture from angle of time. So we had even questions yesterday, which we've noted. So we look forward to this. And I was thinking of this angle, Viktor Frankl. So he survived the concentration camps. So this quote has even more power. But when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And of course, this applies at many levels. The inspiration to come out of the Shudra and the demon, it is like as if there's only way is up. And it presents differently, isn't it? Outer life may be looking fine, but the feeling for Sita, enough is enough. So it's such a beautiful, important time for the soul. And I was drawn to this African proverb, no person is born great. Great people become great when others are sleeping. It would be interesting to hear what your thoughts are on that. But one angle might be sleep of ignorance, as it's sometimes called, where we think progress is Ravan's progress and we think happiness is Ravan's happiness. It's like Sita is fully not conscious. So, of course, real greatness is helping others also realize they are great. And this life of a Brahmin, it feels really a beautiful option which we can come to by choice. So happy to hear your thoughts and hope translation and everything is fine. And meanwhile, welcoming in Vishant. Good evening.
Thank you. And hello and welcome back. As was said on the very first day, it is such a fascinating knowledge, like secrets we are understanding. And as time progresses, you realize it is not just a nice theory. The whole thing is to be experienced, and there are results. It is like a unspoken science, secret science, and science of spirituality, you can say. And so, right from the first day, we spoke how this world has a power to deceive us. That's why this downward spiral starts. It is so convincing and so big and so sophisticated. It is just a theater, but it deceives almost everyone. In fact, all the Siddhas, they cross the line. Only the Ram, he stays behind. He remains the embodiment of wisdom. And everyone has a price. And we have reached a level where we don't even know that we are upside down. This is the state of affairs. So any change of this kind in the right direction has results from the first day. And the great quality required here is perseverance. Every day, you are progressing on a daily basis. The old pattern will immediately take over. That's why you have to create time. Another quality that is required is to be prepared to be radical. our problem is so outrageous that it needs a radical answer. If you are just thinking of some little change, little improvement, that keeps you still in the chicken world. If you want to discover the sky, you need to think differently and not join the herd. So we'll come to the subject of today. Today we are covering two subjects, so that's why little we'll come to this subject. But feel free if you got any comments, questions. That is also important part to be clear about every aspect. We have spoken in the past in our some sessions that our starting position is we are fully soul conscious. If we are souls, we are fully soul conscious. That is the starting position. We also have seen that at present our state is fully ego conscious. The false identities have taken over. We broadly call it body conscious, but it is body and the bodily world and ego has taken over. And just the dot, soul consciousness exists as a dot, which means insignificant. The seed remains, a seed never disappears. And now we are making effort already, learning and very interested to bring about change. And we can see what is happening if everyone makes effort. If you make effort, you are bringing about transformation. And as the transformation starts, as the ego becomes smaller, there will be momentum. It will become even faster. And we will achieve this stage again. So what we are seeing here, we started with the highest consciousness. We go towards the lowest consciousness. Ravan, then we are talking about demonic and beggar within it and victim consciousness or all that, lowest. And from there we come back, Brahmin phase and then the deity phase. We are coming to the highest. We are seeing a cycle. We at a deep level, we are completing a cycle. Anything that is eternal, it is changing, then eternal anything that exists in an eternal way has to exist in a cyclical way. So here, we are seeing that cycle happening at a consciousness level. And our discussion also tells us that outer world matches with the inner world. It means, as the consciousness drops, Vinash forces come. As the consciousness rises, forces of harmony come. Forces of honor come. So that is the outer world. So that also will go in a circle. Yesterday also we start with the Brahmin. We go through all the phases and then we can't handle the burden of that Ravan. Ravan is getting bigger and it just, we can't handle that discomfort. And then we become Brahmin again. We are seeing a cycle. In science, philosophy, and in religion, all different religions and scholars within these fields, they have big riddle unanswered riddle. And that riddle is about creation. When I say creation, I'm using here poetic word. In other words, this physical world, physical reality. They have a riddle. Where did this come from? Science tries to explain with different models. Big Bang is just one popular model, but they got other models also in science. Philosophy, there are so many ideas within philosophy. Different philosophers come with ideas how this world came about. And religions, they might say the different ideas also, different religions. But they might say God created this world, this kind of a position. But if we ask them, the authorities in this, you ask them, they got a model, like say scientists, Big Bang, they teach the students and their books are on this. Ask them, are you sure about this? Is this final? And they will say, don't know, not sure. Ask the philosophers. No, they themselves are talking about different ideas and different philosophies. It becomes a bit intellectual in philosophy. Religions, ask them, are you sure? And the answer is don't know, not sure. So these are like the all nice ideas, and it remains an intellectual proposition. But in these ideas, one thing that is missing, the concept of the soul is not given the importance that it deserves. They are talking about physical creation as if the soul is a separate thing, it goes to heaven, but or they might say soul doesn't even exist. Here we are understanding that the soul is the conscious entity and it influences everything. We saw in the studies of reincarnation how the consciousness creates injuries to the completely, in the embryo, the soul carries the impression he had injury in one life, and in a new body, he creates the reality. So we are seeing how central part played by this conscious entity. Everything else in the universe is not conscious. The soul is the conscious entity. So here we are going to propose a model. Let us see it as a model. And this model gives importance and brings in the aspect of the soul. What we are going to discuss today is a important subject for sociologists, and to understand this explanation, and for the science, for the science gathering. In Oxford, we got one cosmologist, and his name is Julian Barber. You might be able to listen to his interviews or YouTube. And his book is called The End of Time. And what he is telling in this in his discussion, he is invited to different universities, and he talks of radical new approach. He says, based upon the present, we cannot know the past. That is the radical part of it. That's why the book itself is called The End of Time. And it is based upon quantum physics. In quantum physics, there is a concept called principle of uncertainty. So at a quantum level, at electron level, electron is at this position. Next thing is at this position. The next thing is at this position. You don't see the order in the movement of the subatomic particles. So there is uncertainty. At a physical level, we see certain patterns, and you can plan things, and so planets move in a certain order. You see some order, but not at the subatomic level. That's why the uncertainty. There is a deeper understanding of it, but his position is based upon the present. You cannot know the past. It is not scientific. For example, if you see some bones of some animal, you see the bones. But you based upon the bones, did the animals exist sometime, maybe 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Did the animal exist? His position is, don't know. All I can say as a scientist, the bones exist. And then the bones exist now. That is his position. And it based on this whole history, he says, it is irrelevant. We can never know history. All we can know is past. Have you experienced it? Then it has relevance. And otherwise, it is just a projection. So he is not just talking that for some fantasy theory. It is backed by his observations, and at a quantum physics level. But based those observations, he applies, and it is the same world, same material world. So, if you are seeing what fossils, if you are seeing some records, and in his model, they exist now. That's all we can say. If you see dinosaur bones, they exist now. And did anything exist before anyone experienced? Then we can look into it. Otherwise, position is don't know. That is his thinking, and you will be able to hear his, if you are interested in YouTube videos. Now let us come to the model that we are talking about. And in this model, what we are saying, the souls exist in its world, home. They exist as stars in silence. They are not having the cha-cha-cha dance going on. It is a complete silence and eternity, but conscious. We use the word peace, world of peace. And from this world, they come in the physical world. And in the physical world, the journey takes the form of a cycle. It is a model, and let us try and understand this model. And there is a time they come, and there is a time they return back. The outside, you see that red line, so that shows the home. Below that line is the physical reality, and in this physical reality, what we are seeing here, this journey is they are the invisible souls. They come in, they are watching a film. This what we have shown as a circle, that is a film. This physical world exists as different slides in this model. We'll come to the more details, in later. But at getting the overview, this is the world, physical world. It exists as a film. So what we are watching here right now, it's a film. This model says that souls are watching the film, and they are watching these different slides. So the first journey starts when they come here. They come and the experience starts. Until then, there is no experience of the physical world, no thought even of the physical world. They are in that supreme reality, full. The nature of the soul is bliss and love and contentment, and that is what will remain. So they stay in that experience of sweet silence, sweet peace, and in that peace there is bliss. That is their basic experience. Physical world is like an experience. You come in a theater and there's something glitter and everything starts. Another experience. And then you come back home, that glitter is not there, that music is not there, it is silence. So they come here in the film because the starting position of everyone is 100% soul conscious. There are no Vinash forces, but forces of honor. So world they experience is the perfect world, and we call it the golden age of mankind. That's what they are experiencing. Not everyone comes on the stage. Actors come on the stage depending upon their part, depending upon the script. So also here, their part, not everyone comes, certain number, very small. In this model, it says less than 1 million starting position. But others join as we go further. All along, the others are joining. So the number increases as we go further. And those who start, they don't go back once they start. In this model, they stay. That's why the population is increasing. Even in the last 200 years, if those who have made and noted the population growth, even there are wars and natural calamities, population has never dropped. Graph will show a sustained rise of the population. Sustained, it is not haphazard. It is like the graph shows a very interesting pattern. Even though there are big, like a Second World War, 60 million people died. But there is immediately after that is baby boom. More children are born. This kind of pattern happens. Hence here, population is increasing. But at the same time, something else happens. Downward spiral, it starts from the first day. It is not having a big momentum, but the spiral starts. So by the time they have reached end of the golden age, that first quarter, they have lost their inner power, inner strength. They are not deities, if we can say that. They start with the deity phase, but they are not deities anymore. They now into the next phase. And we do not call it golden age anymore. This phase is called the silver age of mankind. And so we go through births and death, and that happens. That is the pattern in the physical world. That is the experience. And And there is soul consciousness all along. Golden Age, Silver Age, they start with 100% soul consciousness, but soul consciousness continues. Even though body consciousness is coming in, creeping in. So when we are at this level, inner life changes. It takes the form of almost 50% soul consciousness and 50% ego consciousness at the end of Silver Age. So that changes the game, which means if one straw more, on the ego consciousness, then Ravan becomes the king. Soul consciousness is not dominant anymore, and that game changes. So end of the Silver Age is a huge drop. And this moment is there within everyone as a psychic trauma, because you lose your inner kingdom. You are not in charge. Ravan is in charge. From the deity, you are moving into already Ravan's department has started. Not quite demon, but the merchant starts. This moment is recorded in the Old Testament in the form of Adam eating the apple, and he doesn't deserve the Garden of Eden. He's sent to earth. It's so accurately put. So Silver Age is Garden of Eden in this, and then he's sent to earth, because this is the Copper Age experience. And Copper Age experience, there is illness and there is war, there are, all the ego-based reactions. People are experiencing anger and desires and desperations, and the consciousness has shifted to what we consider as human. And Ravan will get bigger. Ravan doesn't stay what it is. And Ravan creates new heads and all these complications, Ravan's department. So Copper Age and the Iron Age, these are the ages of Ravan. Golden Age, Silver Age, these are the ages of Ram. Ram is not there, but these are the ages, we can say, of Ram, kingdom of Ram. He establishes this. Population is increasing all along. It starts with less than a million, but then by the time we are into Iron Age, it reaches a billion. And then it increases further. And today it is more than 8 billion. It is extraordinary how this population goes at such a speed. In our lifetime, population has increased by so many billions. So they all are coming from the home. The souls are coming from the home. They join the film party, and then they are experiencing the film. But when we have crossed this line into Ravan's world, then we don't see it as a film. It has become our world. That confusion, Ravan's confusion, it takes over. You think that is you. You are that Cinderella, and you are worried about the ugly sister, and you're complaining. All these Ravan's feelings and Ravan's ideas of progress. That is what is going on. Ravan gets bigger, so these ideas become very entrenched. Our Iron Age means complete darkness. There is no contrast even. When we are in the Copper Age, that is the time different prophets come in different places. Maybe Abraham, Moses, Christ, and whether it is Buddha at one place, and all the different prophets, Muhammad, and it continues in a more recent examples, of Aurobindo, like that. And, these are smaller religions. They start with this, and it continues. Expansion happens. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to ask anything?
Yes, thank you. Do all souls suffer the psychic trauma where there's this huge drop shown here as Silver Age to Copper Age, or just those who go between those ages?
Those who go through those ages at that time, definitely they will. But everyone else has his own fall. He starts with his own deity phase, and he goes through that, and then he has a changeover at some point. So that becomes his moment of trauma.
So it's like when the soul becomes like 50% body conscious in his own way, have some like a
Yes, yes,
losing that mind and life.
yes.
Interesting. I had a question. You mentioned sent to Earth from Garden of Eden. So is it like both are on the Earth, but one experience in Silver Age is still like a super sensuous joy, and then it's the mindset of losing something, lacking something?
And just yes, when you think this unpredictable world is your world, that is a very different consciousness. First time you're discovering your existence itself is not guaranteed, and so you have to uh, find way to survive, all this kind of Ravan's thinking. Before that, you knew of your immortality, so everything else was a gift and fun.
So nice to hear what has always been a sort of scriptural concept made real. Yeah. So no other questions right now.
Sure. So here, by the end of the Iron Age, we are 100% saturated with ego consciousness. Now, in this model, we say that end of the Iron Age, there is something else happens, and that is the age of transformation. And we call it the confluence age. So if I'm to draw the whole sketch again, so there is the home, and amazing, huh? You get a perfect circle.
With some help.
And we said there are these 4 ages, and then there is this another age, and that is a confluence age. Confluence age is the age of transformation. So we said by the end of the Iron Age, when we reach this point, we are 100% saturated with ego. And from that position, from that 100% ego, we are bringing about this change, and we become back to our full soul consciousness, perfection, inner perfection. What is required? All along we are coming down. Say here we are deities, and then there are in a silver age we go, and then during this age there are prophets, and there are scholars and saints and scientists and very special kings, Mahatmas, people like Gandhi. Lots of people play a very special part, but everyone is coming down. In spite of all this, we are further down, more attachments and the demonic behaviors increasing, also sorrow increasing. And here we are saying from that extreme degradation, complete shift, become golden aged existence again. How does that happen? What is required? In your logic, what is possibly required to bring about this shift? What do you think?
Awakening of
Awakening,
the
how? That word awakening existed. Where prophets are also speaking about awakening in their own way. And there are saints, they say awakening. That was happening, but no one woke up, it looks like. Everyone is going further into sleep.
knowledge.
And they also have been giving knowledge, and there are scriptures, and they're studying scriptures, theology colleges everywhere.
Sanjeevani. They talked about Sanjeevani too, but Sanjeevani for victory, like the right knowledge. Accept and effort to change. They need power.
Yeah, nice. For change, two factors are required. And the word knowledge is right, but the right knowledge, true knowledge. To bring about real change, you need an authoritative knowledge. Say, if someone says, I want to tell you how to drive the car, but he has not driven a car himself. He has not seen the car also. And he wants to help you to learn how to drive the car based upon a book. And in the book, some chapters are missing, some chapters are interfered by someone else. You might not reach the destination by that learning to drive with that method. So something similar here. You need someone who knows, authority. And that happens here when Ram himself has to incarnate. Ram is the one who knows. He stays behind the line. Everyone else, they have lost the contrast even. They don't even know what has happened to them. It is like a huge degradation, intellectual degradation, which is blocked. Whereas Ram is the one who can see what is happening, and so he has a power to see, and he can give the knowledge with capital K, the true knowledge. What is the other factor that can bring about change, transformation? One is knowledge, true knowledge, that is agreed. What is the other factor that helps transformation.
Ability to receive the knowledge, acceptance, experience, focus.
Yes. The word I'm looking for is destruction, pain, vinash forces, and that is the other energy that comes during this confluence age. Confluence age is the age of God, age of highest knowledge, true knowledge, but it is also the age when all the vinash forces are released. In some religions, there is a concept of kiamat. That the final scene, they say, is there is a judgment. Everyone's, but it also means pain, and that concept is there in sin. So that is what happens in the confluence age. It is not, we might not use the word judgment, but balancing process. Pain, we said, vinash forces come to help us change the posture. So give us a signal, but signal then has to be very quick. There is not much time left for this subtle signal. The signal has to be louder, and so it is a painful phase of the human existence. So all this happens during the confluence age. Where do you think we are? Are we? Who thinks we are in the golden age? We had a prime minister here by name Boris Johnson, and he said when he got elected, he said we are in the golden age. Golden age has started. He literally used the word golden age. So who thinks we are? Who joins Boris Johnson? And who thinks we are in the silver age, copper age? It will be nice. Where do you think we are?
Someone is saying confluence age, but she might have an inkling.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is we are confluence age and possibly towards the later phase of the confluence age. And that time of vinash forces, and it is very close. We are. And it is a time. What happens after all this confluence age? Or at this point, everyone returns back to the home at the confluence age. With wisdom, you bring about full transformation, change. To go back home, you have to be in a state in which we came down, 100% clean, zero confusion, zero bondage, zero claiming things, as if there is a customs. You go to some place, you come out, there's a customs. Are you taking anything from the country? If you're not taking, you can go. So here, to go back home, you have to be zero Ravan in any form. Ravan's confusion, Ravan's attachments, Ravan's expectations, you have to be free. Zero ego. Not 1%, zero. And that you have to achieve, that everyone has to achieve through his own effort. That is where we use the word yoga. Just knowledge is not enough. Knowledge is a starting position. It is nice to know what is possible, but you can see yourselves how much change has happened, how consistent it is, how much can you stay in that space. But that is the point, that change of posture is required. If it has not happened, then vinash forces will finish the job. What also happens if you brought about a change through wisdom and through your own effort, you are eligible to come in the next cycle, early one. It is a huge privilege to experience the golden age of mankind. It is the biggest prize that anyone can have. Just like people sometimes like to visit some special place. It is like heaven we are talking about. It is a quarter of the time. But from there we come into the next phase, and next phase is the silver age. It is like a next prize. So those who have made some effort, but also a little bit of pain, they did not learn 100% through their own effort. They learned partly through pain. Then the consequence of that is they come later, and some may come even, in fact, a large majority end up coming in the Iron Age. There are reasons why some come in the Iron Age, why some come in the Golden Age. Factors are the confluence age. What effort you have made. We said yesterday in the Brahmin phase, if the Brahmin phase is really, really strong, knowledge-based, yoga-based, then your deity phase will last longer. Means you will start from the golden age onwards. If the Brahmin phase is not so strong, then it will be shorter. So one may even start in the Iron Age. And you in the first phase, you are having this soul conscious experience. And the inner perfection, outer perfection also will come for them. But they will lose it very quickly. Life changes and factors change. And inner power is not there. You lose it very quickly. Confluence age is the time to go up and make the inner life strong. So let us hear some thoughts from you.
Thank you. I'm sure there are many, many reflections, and it's so nice to map it with the session yesterday. Is probably this question is now answered, but something from yesterday, how is karma in connection with this cycle, and where is it created, if that makes sense?
Karma. The subject of Vinash force, that explains karma. In this, what we are seeing, it is not that much based upon what is happening in the story. There is a script in the story but your consciousness, that is a factor that decides karma. Maybe I'll just explain this subject in few lines. One side is the angel. I'm using the word angel. Soul conscious soul is an angel. All souls are angelic. So one side is the angel, and the other side is Ravan, the demon. This is going on in each one's head. There is an angel and there is a demon. If the angel is winning, it is a good karma. In today's one day, what is the net gain of the angel? Then you are doing good karma. If the demon is winning, he's using the mind longer, he's using your senses, he's using your time, So different heads of demon is busy. Then it is a bad karma. If neither side is scoring, then the term used is it is neutral karma. And all this at the level of consciousness. And there is a body, there's Prashant here, not sitting, talking knowledge, but that is part of the script. Because he is talking knowledge doesn't necessarily automatically highest karma. At the inner life, who is in charge? Who is using the mind at this time? If the angel is there, then it is a good karma. If that attention is not there, then definitely some ego is in charge, and then it becomes bad karma. On some level, it may not be some big vices, but you are in the body conscious camp, Ravan's camp. Otherwise, it is a neutral karma. When someone is sleeping during that time, he may be doing neutral karma.
It's good. We have to rethink karma as it's ordinarily understood as something much more physical. So,
Yes.
did you mention that confluence age can increase if people choose wisdom?
Confluence age. We learn during the confluence age, we learn either through wisdom at any point, humans, animals, anyone. We can learn either through wisdom or through pain. And some are clever. We had one friend here, she had a dog, and police wanted to buy this dog, and they were offering her huge amount to buy that dog, and she would not sell that dog. Why? Anyone can teach him any skill, and he picks up this dog. They're intelligent. They did. So police recognized what this dog is capable of. And so here, if someone understands, learns, and changes, then he deserves big prize. Confluence age, we did not say it becomes longer. Confluence age is a fixed age.
Maybe, I don't know if it's something you mentioned, but in terms of length, if the confluence age is a time where there is wisdom, learning through wisdom, then perhaps the journey through the cycle, you experience the whole
Yeah,
thing.
your deity phase will last longer. Yeah. Confluence age is the time you put a foundation, and then your deity phase within you. It will be not just the golden age, silver age, but that personality will continue longer.
Yeah, nice.
Otherwise, in the Iron Age, predominance of Shudra; in the Copper Age, predominance of the merchant; and in the some point, the warrior, the adventure, that kind of thing in time. But the golden age is the deity, and gradually it is changing.
And that was mentioned yesterday. So we've got, you've put the warrior in the Copper Age. So,
In the way we understand warrior, yes.
okay, yeah, that kind of answers the question. And in that, there's like an inner war in a way, is it? Like a inner
No,
battle.
then we said that the adventure and courage and all this. In the golden age, silver age, there is still dominant happiness there. So it is a soul conscious society. It is dominant.
Yes.
Silver age is not golden age, but still we can consider it as heaven. Soul consciousness is dominating.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Do you need the pain in order to then be able to apply the wisdom? Or should we not be experiencing any pain if we're making accurate effort?
Somehow we need pain, unfortunately, but some learn through just a signal. And it was just first sign, just smell is enough for them to realize that they have to change. And some don't learn through the signal, and that's the difference. But unfortunately, we don't bring about change until there is some signal. That's why we do not learn before, not in the corpus iron age, for example. There is a point at which we realize we have to change. Signal has we are ready for change, and it is because of pain. Burden of Ravan has reached a certain point.
That's interesting. So in a way, Ravan is the one experiencing pain. We experience it in the form of Ravan. So
Yeah,
it's not if we understand what's happening, then it's not a long process in a way.
yeah.
Is it right karma happens on the physical level in that case, or how is it transported to the next life? How is it?
It is all at the soul, and the only thing that goes from one life to other life is the soul. And so we mentioned, if you create a good habit today, that goes with you from today to tomorrow. You create a bad habit, that goes with you from today to tomorrow. Same happens if you're working with Ravan, Ravan's different hates. That Ravan goes with the soul from one birth to the other. And if you remove Ravan and the angel is dominant, that goes with you.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. One question here. The experience of the golden age can be longer or the same length, but more or less intensive, if the question is clear.
Yeah, same length. When we said your deity phase lasts longer, means your inner consciousness of the deity, that will last longer. The ages are in this model, they are equal, and they won't change.
Yeah, it's nice. We have a kind of purchase on the inequality of life. Yeah, so there aren't any other questions right now.
If it is okay, we will take a break at this point, and then we come back and we are going to discuss a new topic. And this subject, what we discussed today. It is good to have it in the back of the mind. And most important here, it's a film. And film, it is a completely new way of seeing things. Souls are watching a fixed film. And in the film, there is a scene, like right now, Prashant talking, that is happening in the film, three-dimensional film. He is watched by the soul. And that is, try and grapple with that concept. It needs to sink in, but keep it in the back of the mind. And the most important part for us is psychology. That lots of homework has to be done at that level. But in time, you will come back to this and you will understand differently. Understand these different ideas better.
Yeah, thank you. Practical. So the question we could pose for the rooms, what do we need to do to come into the golden age?
Okay.
And create a deity community. Is it fine?
Yes, very good.
So rooms are open. Enjoy. We'll see you in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. Just a little pause for this experience in the drama and beyond the drama. You so much also for comments and thoughts. So, but Prashant, thank you.
Hello, welcome back. And we will have some follow-up advance retreats, and there will be opportunity to discuss this subject of the film model and cyclical time in more details. There are also recordings of we discussing this in the past, but it is a fascinating subject. Also, there is a book, In Search of Truth, and in that there is a one chapter discussing this subject in the written form. So these options. But today we are going to move to another subject, and that is God. Normally, this is such a important subject, but in a culture we are in, we bring this subject a bit later when we have understood the other things better, then we are more prepared, especially those who are hearing these ideas for the first time. In Cambridge, we bring the subject of God slowly. Now, the why we have to be so cautious with God, because this word God is debased. It is used by those who Ravan is as if Ravan's kingdom, Ravan's world, and God, that is going on. And so the word is debased because of that. So much so that people would rather not want to hear about God. That is like many places, many people, and in many places. But today we are in a better position to know this whole idea of God, because we have already we are familiar with the part played by Ram in the journey of Sita. And we said Ram is the one who stays behind the line. Ram doesn't cross the line. And that is enough. If we are to grasp, what is the one quality of God? If there is a God, what will be the quality of God? One guaranteed quality. What will you say? If there is God in the universe anywhere, what will be the one thing that has to be associated with God?
Nice question. Well, you mentioned stability, truth, unchanging, purity, highest.
Yes, the word truth is good. If he is not in truth, then how can we use the word God? And this is the situation when Sita crosses the line, she is not in truth. She is in confusion, and Ravan is absolutist, embodiment of falsehood, stubborn in error. That is what Ravan's description is. And whereas Ram is stubborn in truth, he stays in truth naturally, he never crosses the line. It's not possible for him to go beyond the truth. Now, this is a good start for us. So if someone stays in truth in this absolute way, it also means he stays in that experience naturally. He never gets into Ravan's feelings. There is doesn't mean he doesn't come in the physical world. To come in the physical world is not a coming into falsehood, but he doesn't cross that line. If someone never ever crosses the line, then you can say he is in truth. So that is exactly what happens with, if we say, if there is a being, we said Ram, he never crosses that line, then he stays in truth. It also means a lot. It means he stays in that space where he is 100% secure, regardless of what happens in the story. He naturally sees story as story. Right now, this is happening. It is in the story. It is happening in the story. So he is 100% secure. And we saw when you are secure, even to experiment with it right now, you see this as a story. In the story, there may be some fire comes, flood comes. It is all in the story. If this is what we are seeing, and the world, the real world, is beyond harm, absolutely beyond harm. Three-dimensional film going on, and no one is harmed. This invisible observer is absolutely safe. That's what he knows. And so he experiences those feelings of bliss and peace and contentment and happiness. And he also knows anyone who is in that space of truth, he knows everyone is from the same home and the same family, and they all are immortal and they all are noble. He knows this. He knows they are all souls, but it also means they all are divine beings, worthy of greatest respect. So he stays in this experience of respect, experience of love for everyone, because he knows they all are immensely, that is what their worthiness is. And because it is 100%, we use the word ocean. He remains ocean of bliss and ocean of peace, but full. In essence, there is no other, nothing inauspicious in his mind, in his heart. So this is the personality of God. First we said, here is a being who never crosses the line. He stays in truth. And when you are staying in truth, it also means he is always Paras. One name for God is Parasnath, because he is forever Paras. He sees from that perspective. He makes others Paras. He helps others come on the other side of the line. So this is the personality of God. And the opposite of Ravan. Ravan is like a virtually opposite. Ravan is stubborn in error. Ravan false, but he never wants to change this kind of, that is what Ravan is. Ravan is the one who ends up into all kinds of inauspicious emotions, whether it is anger, sadness, whole range of psychiatry, what psychiatry is dealing with. That is what Ravan is experiencing. All these hospitals all over the world are for Ravan, psychiatry hospital. So whether it is depression and paranoia, all different combinations, that is sad, bad, mad. Come to the world of Ram, zero of that. It is like a bliss and love and contentment, not superficial, backed by truth. Ravan's feelings backed by confusion, but stubborn. He believes that there is a big danger. He absolutely convinced this body is me, Cinderella is me. He absolutely lives in that story with stubbornness. We get an idea of the personality 100%, and that's why he's never fluctuating, never changing. Okay, so here is the Supreme Personality. In what way does it matter to me? This will be the question. No? Say you are told so and so is a great, scholar, great football player, someone is a great scientist. Your question is, in what way will it help me? Maybe there is no benefit. There is no common ground. He cannot help me in any way. He is good in doing his things. I'm doing my things. Is it like that, or has God got anything to play for you? He says he's not going to change the story. He's not interested in that. He's the Supreme Personality. He is soul conscious. Just like if you are aware that there is some film going in the town, you don't think that you have to go and change the film, change the script of the film. And as you said, that is not my interest, and I'm not concerned about what the script is. There are directors, producers who made that film. Your time may be useful somewhere else. So he doesn't change. That is not his aim, to make your physical life easy at immediate level. That is not. So in what way does it matter? He's so wonderful, Supreme Personality. In what way will it help me? What will you say? Will he make any difference to my life? Do I need him? The real question is this. Someone, will say, do I need him? I'm quite managing quite well in my life. I got a promotion and then things are going really well. And I don't need anyone else. I'm helping others. Someone might say like this. I don't need help from anyone.
Yeah, it's interesting to observe that Ravan would say it, but it can be there. Someone says, yes, we do need him. He's reliable, unlike, I guess, human beings. I will get that energy from him to lift myself. If I connect with him, then it will help. Only with a power greater than ourselves can we overcome Ravan. I need to connect because he will purify me. He will help me get rid of Ravan. He's the only one who is always pure. He's like a model for me to progress. And we need experience to see what is possible. Interesting.
Yeah, excellent. Now, one thing about this supreme personality, Ram, he is friend of Sita. In other words, he is friend of you, the soul. At a time when the soul is not even conscious, he remains your friend. Everyone else don't even know that soul exists and don't think about you, the soul. They are busy in the Cinderella world, whereas he remains the friend of the soul. He is thinking how to help the soul become conscious. So this is the extraordinary part he plays. Just as, say someone becomes unconscious. When he's unconscious, he's not in a position to ask for help even, because he's unconscious. If someone helps him at that time, he will be immensely grateful to it. It makes him conscious again, gives a life. This is the part he plays for Sita. When we say ego is not Sita. Ego is Ravan's representation, and it is blocking Sita, blocking the soul becoming conscious. And he remains friend of the soul. So the highest thing we can do during our moments of clarity, to realize that here is the one who is the friend of the soul, and I have to have his company. I have to find to be closer to him, because no one else is really thinking of this soul. So I have to catch hold of this, listen to him, and be with him. And because he's the only one who is concerned, who can help. It is a bit like in your sane moment, you might have to say, here is a doctor who can help me. Stay with him, stay close to him. If you are about to faint or become unconscious, stay closer to a doctor rather than someone else. So here, our clarity also can be, we are in clear phase and we can lose that clarity until we become perfect. So the one realizes that, okay, here is the Ram. I need to find a way how I can be closer to him. And in this, your mind, this is where it starts. Keep the mind with him. Stay connected. Take his company. Company has a huge influence. Your parents will be concerned, what is your company? You will be concerned about others in your family, children. Who is their company? Company will influence in a big way. And company can also take you right up. Company can bring you down also. So here you are saying, okay, I need the company of this supreme, other supreme friend. I need his company. Now, company is not that much physical company. Someone may be next to me, but I'm thinking of someone else. I'm impressed with someone else. That becomes the company. And the same happens here. If you if you want, you have an option to take his company wherever you are. We understood the personality. We understood what Ram represents, and we also know it is authentic. It is not conditional upon anything that you do. He wants to help Sita. He is not trying to help you in your business or exams. He wants to help Sita. And at an immediate level, Sita has to become conscious. And you have the option to see how much time I can create to be with him, to be with that supreme personality. And mind is such a thing, there is a magic there. When you are taking this position, you are actually getting the company. It is a bit like that. You are literally having his influence. Yes, let us hear any thoughts from you.
Yeah, it's I think the subject is very experiential. There aren't any direct questions right now about Ram. It's nice to connect it with the Ram and Sita story and the time of now and connecting it back to this. Yeah, no comments right now.
So we saw, this, taking company and understanding this, your company, real company happens through thoughts. Now, one question arises, in this subject, in the taking company through thoughts, you are having the attention. I want to know what he knows. I want to feel what he feels. I want to see what he sees. And I want to think what he thinks. It is not a physical, that says even any human being. You meet a human being, it is physical appearance, but the essence of that other person is what he knows, what he feels, what he thinks, what he sees. That is the essence of that human personality. How does he think? The merchant will think one way, warrior will think another way, the customer will think one way. There are different perspectives. So here, supreme, okay, is supreme, but I want to know what he knows. To create that little exercise, company through thoughts. It is not just a light, star, the point. This is okay, but the more you are seeing what the deeper is essence, that resonates within you. That experience will happen within you, and it will grow within you. We said earlier in different sessions that the angel within you has to win. More you are seeing that personality, like in the essence level, feeling what he feels and seeing what he sees, what he knows, and at that level, that is like that experience happens within you. And that is what nourishes the angel within you. And that is the progress. That is the purification. As this happens, the false identities, ego, continues to dissolve. And we use the word yoga for this. There is not a structure of prayer, as you say, there is, prayer doesn't whatever the form of prayer it is, but lots of time prayer involves asking God to do something, change the story in some form. So that is very different. In this, if our aim is to get Sita become conscious and become free from Ravan, if that is our aim, there is no structure of prayer. That is not required. God is not going to do any magic. And he helps Sita if Sita takes the first step. And so here Sita has to take steps. Sita wants to become free. And he will help at that level, not in changing the story. Yeah. And Sarah, want to add anything?
Yeah, was just thinking when Ram is there, it stops Ravan. When we've stopped Ravan, we invite Ram. So it's a secret. In fact, maybe I can ask this question at this stage. After doing something wrong, it's harder to be in companion with God, even though I know He always wants to help. How to keep company with Him?
Something done wrong, that is that happened in the story. That is Cinderella. That is a story of Cinderella. Let the invisible actor wake up. Invisible actor is the invisible witness. If he is awake, he understands his worthiness to be with God, unconditional upon the story. And he wakes up to the completely different reality. And that actually gives you power not to do the wrong actions anymore. It is only the angel within you who will not perform wrong actions. So drama has its, whatever the drama is, you separate, distance yourself from the drama. Let the invisible witness wake up. In 1 second, it is a different you, new start, new beginning.
It's good to highlight this difference between this and perhaps the habits, even if not in this life, of a kind of devotion, because it comes with guilt. And to create that space, the clean start, and because ego will feel unworthy and that complication, and we're not trying to make ego feel worthy. We start with already worthy soul, isn't it? So yeah, it would be interesting if any follow-up questions are there. Another question, would God ever send you signs in the drama to help you, the soul?
You understood?
Well, you could read this in different ways, but would you ever get a sign in the drama? It could be, I don't know whether it's meant through a person or an image or working through people, working through. Would God ever send signals to help Sita in the story or in the mind, even?
Whether God or drama, and within drama, there are lots and lots of signals, as we saw, yesterday. The different signals come, and it is good, whatever, whether drama or God, if it is helping you, take benefit and move on. But yes, drama, there will be signals. Drama is very rich, lots of miracles and all this within the drama. Variety of different episodes.
Yes, interesting, isn't it? Because we're saying it's a theatre, it's secondary, but it's a rich secondary extra experience. So what does he do, or he just is? I don't know if that question
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I understand. The biggest thing, tomorrow we will be having more opportunity to go what he does. But today, just is good enough. And we can take benefit from what he is. Tomorrow we'll know what he does.
Nice. Good to have a map. There are
Just
a
one.
couple of questions, but not connected to this subject. So maybe after you've completed, and maybe at
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. There's one thing I want to mention. Say, if there is a great mathematician in your town, who will know him as a mathematician? And others know him. They think he's a nice neighbor, and someone thinks he's a nice bloke. But who will recognize him as a great mathematician? He's like an extraordinary mathematician. Who will recognize him?
Someone who has an inkling about maths.
Yeah, another mathematician. You need a mathematician to recognize a mathematician. You need a musician to recognize a great musician. Same thing happens here. If here is God, that supreme personality, Ravan cannot recognize him. Ravan cannot understand what is going on here. He cannot understand what love is, what is all this. Ravan knows how to manipulate and how to sing a song on love, but he doesn't understand what that selflessness is and what that bliss is. But for us, we have to start with soul consciousness, because that is what helps you to know what God experiences. Invisible witness. Try to get this 100% clean experience, even for 1 minute. We said right from the first day, 1 minute program. And 1 minute program is 100%, just for 1 minute, but make it 100% unmixed. Invisible witness visiting this story world is not anything to do with the story. Try and grasp that 100% detachment, and you get an idea what that personality is, what that divine means. Unpolluted, no Ravan's feelings during that minute. And then that helps you understand what anyone who is always in this state, what will he experience? You get a feel of it. Just like a mathematician, you can see what is happening in this great mathematician, how he solves it. He can understand it. So also here, one who is like God, he is the one who recognizes God and experiences God. One nice thing that is said about God. God is associated with the word zero in different languages also and different cultures. Even his name is associated with zero in some languages, in some religions, and which is good. He absolutely likes that name. And one name, Shiva, is one name that is used for God. That means zero. And why? Why zero? He owns nothing. He needs nothing. He lacks nothing. When it comes to the drama, he misses nothing. He identifies with nothing. He claims nothing. Claim, demand, deserve. I deserve something. No, drama is. He doesn't feel he deserves anything in the drama. 100% free. Drama has its script and remains free from that. So he may be involved, and he wants to help Sita and all, but from the drama, 100% free. And as a result of that, zero has got one nice in mathematics also. There is a saying in mathematics. You look at zero, you see nothing. You look through zero, you see everything. So he is staying at that zero. There's nothing. At the same time, he experiences the ocean. He experiences the ultimate. He doesn't need anything. He knows he is full and complete. That is what that personality is. And that is the personality. He helps the Sita to realize that Sita is like Ram. Sita has gone into all this, become a slave also to Ravan. But Sita is like Ram, and Ram's task is to bring her back to where he is. Full, complete, the ocean, free from desperations, desires, disappointments, free from that whole department. Unconditional upon the story, free from the story also. Perfection in that. Just like he is that perfect, highest personality. He helps Sita to discover that. Happy to hear the questions and comments.
Someone has added, it's no thing. It's absolute position, which helps to create light and clarity when Ravan is all about creating content and making himself bigger. So it's beautiful. Yeah, little recap maybe. Can a soul choose not to reincarnate and remain in the light forever? Question from the Italian group.
Yeah, and the answer is no. It is a bit like, you go to bed and you might say, I don't want to wake up at all. I'm so tired. I really want to, I don't want to do the job anymore. So I want to sleep. You might have this thought before going to bed. But there comes another time when you don't want to be in bed. You want to be out of bed. You want to go out to play even. So there is a time when we might have some ideas and even say that this is like an amazing achievement to never to come again. But once we go there, we ourselves there comes a time we come down again. So yeah, in this model, we don't stay in the soul world permanently. It's a home, but we are players, and players want to come to play in their own time.
It's nice to play with the model, but like acknowledge those feelings, but experience as much as possible that space of the home, and over time those impressions get deeper and create that shift. Another question, just one more here at the moment. If I gain more knowledge, I realize more about myself and drama, and that's not always pleasant. It's a bit painful to have to navigate all those layers. What is the ultimate goal, and how to remain happy with this prospect to also to do it over again and again?
Yeah, first, one thing at a time. We said 1 minute, 1 minute. That has to be taken absolutely as an important homework every day. It is like a full-time confluence age homework, at least 1 minute, but 1 minute many times. But that 1 minute has to be of quality and accuracy. Try to understand what can be done accurately and what it means. And then you will discover the immense greatness of yourselves. And you will be very happy with everything is okay. Because you realize you won a biggest lottery. Big. And today we are saying you got a great friend who loves you, and regardless of what has happened, what you do, he is there to give you the best at a most important level. Film is a separate thing. Story is a separate thing, but he is helping you, the actor, get the highest. But your truth is also naturally the highest. So at every level, you are very, very lucky. This process of waking up starts with that 1 minute, 1 minute. We are emphasizing accuracy to know exactly what you should be doing that 1 minute, and doing it quality. Concentration is the important part in that quality.
Thank you. Very nice. How does the soul know it wants to experience these things? For example, experiencing having a physical body.
You understood?
Yeah, maybe it's the question about being in the soul world, and then, how does it even know that it wants to go into the drama? And
Even it just happens. Like how do you wake up from sleep? Only when you wake up you realize that you have come here. It is not that you plan and then you say, okay, I'm going there. You just wake up and then you say, oh, I'm here. It is a bit like that.
I love the know what he knows, see what he sees, feel what he feels. And I was just thinking you could turn that into a reflective experiential question, like asking, what do you know? Or how, you could ask, what are his thoughts? And just leaving that space to see what is that perspective also. So it's just different ways of going into the details and staying with one area. Yeah, no more questions right now. So I know we've come to time. If there's anything final you would like to share.
Yeah, it is a great thing for us. Just like there is a great happiness if you meet some new friend. Here you are discovering the new friend, they are coming to know more about him. But also you are realizing this friend is the wisest, highest, holiest, Ravan free, and he loves you. What an amazing thing to know. So it is like creating more time to reflect on what it means. That is the homework for today.
Beautiful. Thank you. So we'll meet tomorrow. Enjoy the homework. Thanks to Giorgio running alongside, translating to Italian. And thank you.